Welcome back everybody to the analyst desk, and this was Hanwha Life Esports taking on T1. Today we'll be joined by Subin Yoon and Victory and Han for today's analysis. And this season with the translation, T1 has to get closer to the top 3 teams, and Hanwha Life Esports has to continue their momentum. It was a very dramatic victory coming out from Hanwha Life Esports, and we saw Quinn up against Renekton. Quinn is a hard counter into Renekton. At the same time, Hanwha Life Esports, they were taking the confident picks. For example, like Galio and Italy. Miru, his signature pick is definitely Galio, but it's a little bit disappointing that Zoe was the card that T1 picked into Galio, because Zoe is not a hard counter champion which can punish Galio in the laning phase. And the Korean casters mentioned that Quinn is a counter pick into Renekton. However, this champion doesn't really dominate Renekton in the side lane in the later phase of the game. Quinn does have a power spike in the middle of the game, but Hanwha was not accelerating the lead that fast. In result to that, Hanwha Life Esports were slowly snowballing throughout the game, and they had a huge pressure around the Dragon Soul. T1 was forced into that fight, and Hanwha Life was the one that closed out the game. Hanwha Life Esports, they were able to show a very confident play out of the confident picks. We saw a very critical blunder coming out from Faker over here. Hanwha Life was really smart going in for that engage onto Nautilus, and Dudu stunned Zoe, so Faker had to burn his cleanse. Zoe had to keep in mind that Hanwha Life Esports players had a lot of CCs, but watch here, he just jumped over the wall, because Faker, he played as if the Rift still had the wall around the blue buff. Well, T1 had the information that 2 of the tank players were in that rush, but Zoe was jumping forward to land his skills, but he got caught and he had to die in that play. And that was maybe a foreshadowing of the whole result of this game. T1 was a little bit rushing in that phase of the game because they were so behind in terms of neutral objectives. After that, we had a very huge turnaround fight for this Dragon Soul fight. They had 2 AD damage dealers on the side of T1. Galio was doing so much work in the front line, absorbing so many aggro's, and then Lihan's Bard finds both Daya and Quinn, the core AD carries of T1. I guess the players weren't really having a lot of heads up for this potential CC on the side of Bard. That was a very sophisticated mechanical play coming out from Lihan's, but outside of that, it's not about the mechanics that was really popping off. It was about their performance and their mindset of being really brave and bold into T1. Because they were about to have a huge team fight, they chose to dive onto the players on T1. And maybe this is a sign that shows Hanwha Life players realize that they have to play with this confidence and they will be able to grab a win. Now it's time to check out the player of the game on the side of Hanwha Life Esports. Miru on Galio picked up his first PUG of the split. Instead, Lihan showed a huge mechanical play on this Bard champion, but overall, Miru was doing so much contribution all throughout the game with this champion. It's actually surprising that Miru has been playing really well at this Galio pick, but this is his first POG.
벽에 맞으면서 끌어들이는
If that
게
CC hadn't
일을
landed,
맞으면서
would
또 따닥이 막
T1
맞게 되고.
could have won this fight, but
그래서 이제 임팩트 있는
Hanwha Life Esports, they were having a very lucky and very sophisticated fight over here.
터치를 했네요.
했습니다. 네, 참 이 김베인
So we-
해설이
so one
뽑은 금주의
Support
기대되는
booth over
매치.
here.
근데 거기 상세 코멘트를 보면 결과는 어느 정도
And one
정해져
is
있기
also
때문에 과정이
said
중요하다.
today's match will be a very close series, so we'll have to check game number 2 whether T1 can turn the game around in game number 2 or whether Hanwha Life Esports get another win and stay undefeated in the second round robin. It's time to throw it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jisun, as usual, for the analyst desk translation. And Valdez, I'm sorry, mate. I think we're gonna have to revoke your POG voting.
No, I don't
chose
think
the correct
so.
one.
I think that what it was is that everybody else voted incorrectly, and I also like the vote from the observer onto the top lane, which was kind of interesting too. I mean, yeah, the Renekton did win one skirmish, but
that was a solo kill, man, against Canna, the best performing
sure.
player in a counter matchup.
okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
That was a bit silly. I agree with you.
Also,
and in fact, the whole analyst desk was talking about how good Lehens was.
Yeah.
So
Also, like the Galio, the engage in the jungle, that was Faker's fault, not Miru's good play. But
sometimes you have to capitalize on mistakes.
the last fight, I do have to hand it to him. He did have an excellent Galio performance there, so I don't mind it. They're going to ban away both of them. They're like, actually, no, Galio and Bard, we would not like to see any of that ever again. And no Nidalee either, actually.
Wow,
It's
this
the
is
salty bans
that
coming out
is
of T1.
definitely some salty bans. You can feel it. As Karma first pick for T1.
Well,
Volley.
They're-
What?
they're going to pick Volibear.
Okay, so now we get Karma Ashe, Karma Ezreal, whatever with Karma that you feel like here on Hanwha Life's side. Volibear priority.
Yeah. Karma Aphelios, right? The Volibear is already saying, like, hey, we're going to be running into you.
Yeah,
What's
good
great
point.
against that? Aphelios. But there is Ashe available. That seems like a very obvious pick from T1. They're going to go with Zoe once again. This is a very fast draft here. T1 do not look happy as they are just drilling in those picks right away. I do like the Ashe and the Zoe immediately into the Aphelios, though.
I don't know whether I like Nautilus being locked in here because I like holding on to a Karma triple flex for as long as possible, but they're going to dual flex it here between Miru and Dudu for this particular moment anyway. See where the bans are going to go. Looks like bottom lane is where Hanwha Life are going to be aiming for, as that is a lot of CC removed. I don't know whether Ashe Leona is necessarily my favorite lane. I prefer Ashe with more of a caster support. See what effort's going to bring out there. But we got 200 years under the sea here for Hanwha Life, so pretty standard bottom lane with the Karma there on top of it, looking for that slow-moving composition here.
What are they going to ban out here? I don't think you want to take away like some kind of, blind top laners in this case. So I think taking away another choice for the support role is a good idea. The Braum goes very well with the Ashe, as we have seen down in the bottom side. Even into the Nautilus would have been very good. And so I do not mind that one, as we're probably going to be seeing the jungler coming out here from Hanwha Life. There is Lee Sin.
Haru looks so happy about it.
Yeah,
He is super psyched to get on the Lee Sin. I'm not sure whether his win rate on the champion should warrant him feeling so happy about it, but I'll double check to see how Haru has been doing. Of course, just casual reminder that Haru used to be a T1 jungler a while back now and spent a lot of time on the bench. So getting his revenge there in game number 1 and gets a respect Nidalee ban for game number 2 as Pantheon support here for T1 is locked in. And that's the Camille for the top lane. So where is this Karma going? Because top lane certainly would do fine into the Camille. See what is going to be picked up here.
R5 Renekton.
Ah, 5 Renekton.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's R5 Renekton.
Yeah, that's what you need. That's what we needed right here.
Yes, it comes true again.
I feel like you're cursing it though. That's not a nice thing to
I'm
do.
so good with these Renekton predictions, unfortunately. I don't want this power. And
With great power comes great responsibility,
I know. I'm
Valdez,
just
and you
gonna
have
stop.
been very irresponsible.
I'm just going to stop predicting it, but hey, I mean, Dudu looked good on it, and he was into technically a counter matchup. This time around, he gets to have a little bit of fun, especially early on here up against the Camille. He is going to have a lot more fun, and he's got Haru on Lee Sin too, who can be a bit more proactive. I don't mind it in this situation. They're going up against some really hard engage as well. You look at the last couple of picks for Hanwha Life, and they go ahead and pick Pantheon Camille when they already had, you know, Ashe, Zoe, and stuff like this. So rather than going for the range and pokey style with those two champions, they're going for the pick and engage style with, you know, bubbles, arrows, obviously the Camille and the Volibear running straight at them, and Pantheon as well. So effort trying to take a page here out of Beryl's book. Exactly.
And the Pantheon has certainly worked out very, very well for Beryl. I believe currently sitting on 6-1 on the champion, or 5-1, something right? 6-1 right now. So definitely showing that the Pantheon does work. We'll see how Effort's going to do with the champion, though. As once again, it's a lot of topside focus at the beginning of this game. And we'll see whether Viper and Lahens are just going to be able to play it out very systematically and get to the Aphelios 2-3 item spike and take over this game. It's a very comfortable comp here for Hanwha Life, even if the R5 Renekton made us, you know, a little bit ill.
Is that? He's taking Cleanse up in the top side again.
Did he forget to change his rune?
Summon
I
hope
spell?
not. That's kind of interesting because, you know, the Cleanse, it's obviously good against the stun from the Renekton. He took it twice into Renekton, but a big point of taking Camille is for her split pushing potential, right? And your ability to, you know, even if you're anywhere else on the map, you can try to teleport back in. You have very fast pushing later on in the game, but a lot of that is just taken away.
I think it's a mistake. He doesn't even have Nimbus Cloak. If he had Nimbus Cloak, maybe I'd be like, oh, he wants to make sure that he's never going to get ganked. But he doesn't even have Nimbus Cloak, dude.
Yeah, it's like he changed his runes, but not his
not
summoner,
his summoner spells.
You know?
And I mean, we've all been there. Let's be real.
This could also be where he's like, I am never, ever, ever joining a team fight.
Well,
I am only focusing on the side lane. But the thing is that the Camille doesn't really need Cleanse in the side lane after 3 or so items, right? She's going to be just fine. So, and it's not really going to work against, you know, someone else on the side of Hanwha Life that tries to gank him.
Hey, it means that he can happily take Ninja Tabi, right? And not worry about the CC as much, because of course you get that big boost in tenacity after using Cleanse.
Yeah. I said maybe this is like actually a 5-head moment.
Yeah, maybe it's like 6-head. Like it's so 5-head that no one even knows that it's 5-head and they think it's a mistake.
Yeah, just your whole face is a 4-head. Like,
yeah.
Even more so than the 5-head.
You've lost all of your features. You can't smell anything, can't see anything, can't
brain
taste
is so
anything.
gigantic.
You've just got a huge brain.
Yeah, you don't need all of those sensory objects on your face. Just your brain does all the work, because you're so intelligent.
And you actually have like a whole bunch of extra senses that aren't sight and smell, because you've got all of this extra room in your gigantic brain for extra senses.
Temporal sensitivity.
Yeah. Something like that. Big word. Where's Brian?
Yeah, we need Brian back. We need to propagate the snowball right now.
Exactly. Where's our propagation? As Haru's coming down bottom side, as that's first blood. So that's why you take Cleanse. He didn't use it. Teddy, he might have to flash and is going to do so. Hanwha Life unable to answer that one back. But that is a solo kill at under 3 minutes here, as there's a teleport and an immediate slice gets Dudu out of there. Okay, so Dudu not going to be missing out on too much, but the fact that a Camille just got first blood before, you know, the Renekton hit level 3, that's real bad news, because Renekton's an early game champion, everyone.
Yeah. His power against the Camille is here in the lane early on, but yeah, we're going to have to take a look at the replay and see exactly how that happened. Dudu very high up in terms of isolated deaths, but generally he is the one that does get some solo kills, as we saw from the stats before it did start the game. As here we're going to take another look. It's Kana's point of view.
Oh, he went aggressive.
Ooh, the second slice in there.
Oh, canceled a few autos there as well.
Yeah, so Renekton is really good at taking short, bursty trades, right? You slice and dice in, you auto, you stun with the double auto attack, you spin with the extra rage, I think it's called, and then you slice out, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like a basic Renekton combo. He sliced in, he kind of botched his combo, he went in again, and then he opted into a very extended trade against Camille, which is not something you want to do. Camille's Q is going to come back off a cooldown. She's eventually going to win out there. And that she did. So I think it was just a little bit of a mistake. He was obviously also taking a lot of damage from the minions as he went very far beyond the wave. So just a small misstep, I suppose you can say.
Yeah. Maybe just a matchup confusion type moment here for Dudu, but he's probably laned against Camille.
What is going on?
He's just going to int.
Hello?
Into Canna right here. Canna not going to overextend. Don't know why.
That's
Probably
that
could have.
cleanse. He wasn't expecting the cleanse.
Yeah, there we go.
6 head.
The cleanse mastermind right here. But Dudu does manage to push that mini wave right underneath the turret. Gets another back for a couple of long swords. And will walk back in. So perplexed as to what the double longsword is for. You're normally going to be rushing towards your Black Cleaver, but maybe not in this matchup. Maybe wanting to go for an earlier death stance.
Yeah, I think the Tiamat also
Potentially.
could be built here. It's a very common item that the Camille gets up against the Renekton, so maybe he wants to counteract some of that.
Dudu gonna throw a bit of damage into that shield as he slices forward once again, and Dice is on top of Canna. Can he actually trade back here? Doesn't get enough damage. As Canna's hookshot is going to be on cooldown. That's the sweep, but what? Okay. This is still real dicey. Q going to come back, and so Dudu's going to get his health back. But this lane is just terrifying.
Yeah, he got level 6 too. The lane was pushing into Kana, so he's actually going to have to back here. And remember, no TP. So he's going to have to run all the way down the lane when the wave is pushing into him. He's like, oh, I desperately got to get out of here, but I need some health. And take a look at all the stuff that he's going to lose from not having TP. Like, yes, he's going to make it scary for Dudu to take trades, and he's going to have a bit of a better time with the cleanse and some of the trades. But at the end of the day, you know, you're losing more than a kill in terms of some of these minions that you're losing overall from not having the lane presence of the TP. So it's definitely a trade-off, and for points like that, it doesn't feel very good.
Yeah. But, I mean, he did manage to get back up there. Has himself a cheeky extra cloth armor as well. That will be built into the aforementioned Ninja Tabi as well. So just have to see how Canna is going to navigate this lane. T1 has started off the Dragon. It's going to be Ocean as our first one. No Ocean Soul this game is Haru. He's going to get spotted by the Hawkshot, taking his red buff. That means that Kuz is easily able to secure this first Dragon. And look, this is good. Any objective play for T1 that we see is one that's going to make us feel good. There's a slice and a dice out of Dudu, who does have the Tiamat like you were talking about. This is going to give him shove advantage, and we'll be able to shove waves over and over again into the teleportless Camille's turret.
Hawkshot, really, I feel like he used to be underrated.
Dudu loves tanking turrets, like a lot. Ooh. No stun out of the hookshot, but
yeah,
still going to take a lot of damage from the second activation.
But yeah, that Hawkshot enables T1 to invade the blue, take it away. You see back pings actually around the blue buff too, so Haru is not even confident enough to run in there into his Gromp and take that away. So he's actually going up towards the top side. We also have the Rift Herald up, so he may want to focus on that. And there were a couple of pings onto Haru, so he might have been spotted on his way up towards the top side.
So much vision available for Hanwha on the top side of the map, though. Definitely good news for them as Canna gets his passive back, but Haru looking for the Q, finds it. Hookshot comes down, Canna's able to disengage. Now Hanwha Life, with this wave freed up, might be able to get towards this Rift Herald. The Rift Scuttler's also about to respawn. Top lane priority, going to give Hanwha Life inside track. It's definitely good news. No teleports on the bottom side of the map, so no one's going to be getting up here as Lahens has left the lane earlier, and Viper has priority. So it looks like Hanwha, I mean, if Cuz goes in here, it's just definitely a bad idea, right?
And thankfully, for his sake, I think, he's not going to go in there, and he will not meet the ridicule of all of us watching. And so that is going to be given over to the side of Hanwha Light. Nice little objective. You could look to crash that at the top
cute.
side.
Nice work from Cuz. Goes over and steals away the Scuttler.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, the mid lane, do you really want to give all that extra gold over to the Karma, who has a very cheap build anyway? Or do you want to give this Renekton a little bit of chance at longevity? You could also consider going to the bottom side, which has been pretty equal up until this moment, and trying to get your Aphelios up to 200 years as fast as possible.
I wouldn't mind giving the plate gold over to Dudu. I feel like Aphelios staying in a laning phase for as long as possible feels alright, because you do want to get towards your 2 items before you really do too much. Don't mind that one. Also don't mind the mid lane purely just for the map control as Dudu. That's a good trade. There we go. He's figuring it out. Has that extra plate as well up here on top side. So still thinking that maybe the cleanse was a mistake. I don't know.
I'm curious to see how the later game stages will feel with the cleanse, and if he's
you know what's going to
only
happen?
Split pushing.
We have to, like, Cannon's going to be split pushing, and then while he's split, the team fight, like, starts, we have to see whether cleanse just goes on cooldown. As here we are. All of that gold is going to go over to the Renekton, and Cannon has to get the heck out of the lane. It's a decent bubble, but Faker still having to play back and has to use his flash immediately after his teleport. This has been some like weird play out of Faker today.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice little gank from the side of Hanwha Life too. They were really committing to that one. The flash coming in from Lehens, and so it was kind of just a trade of flash, which is also always going to be good for the side of Hanwha Life. And yeah, he's able to get out of there. So, as you mentioned, they do give that gold over to Dudu. It also gives them first blood turret.
Ooh, that's a good bubble. Faker going to find a paddle star, so softens up Mirror just a little bit, but he's calmer. He'll be fine. Teddy underneath the turret as this Ashe down by a little bit of farm, not necessarily able to go full agricultural here today like he has in the majority of his games. Teddy's farm is very, very good generally, but hasn't so far been out of control.
And I want to shout out to our good friend.
All right, in goes Cuz. Yep, Mirror should be dead here. He flashes. That was never going to work out. Dredgeline onto Effort, who has picked up turret aggro, and able to flash at the very end. Is now Faker has to deal with Dudu as that Q from Haru was utterly stunning.
I don't understand. Why is he diving turret? Why? There's no point. He's like desperately trying to save Effort, who has flash. He's definitely going to get out. And then Faker does the same thing he did in game number 1 and just gives his life away. I really do not get it. A bit stunned right now. And we'll have to take another look at the replay and see, you know, I guess Effort wasn't expecting them to do that much damage and to kill him that fast, but
maybe
came in a little bit late at the same time.
Oh, Canna looking for another opportunity at a plate as Mirror's the one up here towards the top side. Dudu, bottom lane at the moment, trying to get even more plates. This Cuz going to get chunked, and we have exactly the same order of dragons in this game.
Weird.
Yeah. Focused will here from Mirror, unable to proc the snare onto Cuz. Lehens is just going to waddle his way up, but Effort's here as well. Dredgeline to try and get Lehens out. Hook shot doesn't get the stun, but there's the Hextech ultimatum as Mirror stays alive for a long time, but eventually will suffer his second death. Hanwha Life stealing all of the crockery on the bottom side of the map, but T1 with 4 members top lane without a minion wave should at least be able to grab a little bit more up there for themselves. Viper here in this mid lane up against Faker. Not too worried about that situation, but the extra kill probably gives it in favor of T1. But this Crocodile is getting real scary. The amount of plate gold that he's got at the moment is nutty.
Yeah, they're going to take down that one before the plates do disappear. And the same could not be said about the top side, as Miru is going to TP in there and deny the Camille. The Camille is going to be extremely scary at the same time. 2-0, and she's going to pick up Trinity Force already. It's going to accelerate her build to get to that point where Cleanse side-pushing Camille is going to be incredibly difficult for Dudu to deal with, as this is really what I wanted to break down. So originally, the 2-on-1, perfect. Get the kill, great. Effort, what is going on? He is very late on this one, and he's gonna bait Faker into saying, I need to save this guy, which absolutely he did not have to. I think Faker also wanted to pick up the flash, which I suppose that can be kind of a bait for Zoe players, feels kind of bad, but definitely a mistake there. And it's good. I mean, T1's composition, they're great at just running you down with Pantheon, Camille, Volibear. You're not going to get away from that as a Karma without Flash. Very simple pickup, as Miru should have just not been there in the first place.
Yeah. That's going to be his second death of the game very, very quickly. Much earlier when it comes to some of these kills this game, which is definitely good. But the gold entirely even. 2.5 minutes on that Infernal Drake approximately. As Dudu getting chunked here. Trinity Force complete from Cannon, so he's going to be very happy like you were talking about. But there is a Black Cleaver onto the Crocodile.
We were talking about all of the plates that Dudu had picked up. I believe he was actually ahead 700 gold, even though Camille is 2-0. It doesn't matter, because the little bit of extra CS and all of those plates and the first blood turret gold is nice.
The Dominus out of Dudu, and that is a shorter trade. That's what we were talking about, but it's ultimate on cooldown. And now possible danger here as Faker.
He knows it.
Oh no. Yeah, and there's also going to be a Pantheon as Canna has found it. And he's going to be able to lock down the kill. Got pretty close. Haru going to answer with Shirley on the top side, but lower value. There's 5 plates top, 5 plates bot. Double the plate damage here for Hanwha, but they're still behind 100 gold.
They gave that kill over to Kana. Very important. He needs to catch up to this Renekton and start dominating the side lane. That's always going to feel good for T1. The second Rift Herald's not going to be as much value, you could say, as that side push and the extra kill that was given over to Kana. They will be able to take out this mid-tier 1, which is definitely going to feel good, especially with Infernal Soul available. But the Camille is kind of getting out of hand as this game comes along.
The thing that I'm worried about is the 200 years factor here for T1, because there is the Athene's completed now on Miru. He's going to have the Ardent Sensor eventually. This is going to be an Aphelios that's very, very frightening. Doesn't have 2 items just yet, but when they come in, you best believe that T1 are going to have to make sure that they fight exactly around what this guy's doing. As Dudu, he just didn't want to, you know, take that extra aggressive step, and instead, like notices that there are a lot of people coming down.
Yeah, he's really hesitating a bit there, and we're gonna see.
살았다 이거. 잡았다 이거.
We got him. And there was a lot of talk in the background too, as they were all talking about rotating down the bottom side. Dudu has to be more confident in taking those hard-on trades and just going straight in, as they're gonna be spotted here in the brush. Yeah. He'll have to back away. But he knew they were all rotating down, so he knew by the time they were all going to get there, he was going to die, so he might as well just gone all in on the trade, but kind of faltered there a little bit.
Ooh, Dudu getting chunked. Bubbled up as well, but there's a minion wave in position. Okay, Gravitum's going to land max range dredge line there from Lahens, but Effort going to keep himself safe as Haru finds the kickback onto the Ash. Absolutely amazing. Moonlight Vigil comes down now as it's Viper's time to shine. The only 80 carry left. Somehow Dudu lives through the power of, you know, just having Q and also the Inspire shield. And this should be the first Infernal going over to Hanwha if they have the confidence. Looks like they don't, as Faker's got a lot of flashes to pick up. Finds a bubble onto the Aphelios, but no follow-up here as Lahens is going to block the Paddle Star. And Effort, he's got the Grand Skyfall very, very soon. We're not going to be found there. Bubble also going to go wide as T1 are sticking around. They have the health bar advantage. As Lahens, he just can't make the decision whether to go back or not. Dudu does have a big health bar now. As Miru with some mantras coming back off cooldown. Might be able to help his team out here as there's the teleport in from Faker.
I think if you're Hanwha, you got to give this up. You're a little bit too low, and Faker TPing back. You see he commits to the TP to make sure that he's 100% mana. And they are, in fact, I believe in this circumstance, going to make the right move. They give that one away. They were able to get a decent amount of gold from some of the kills that they did pick up. But again, slowly but surely, Kana picks up another kill. And now he's 4-0 and is just a true menace in that side lane. But got to see the replay here. This is an unbelievable display of mechanical skill from Haru, as it all starts with 200 years through roots down effort, and then just out of nowhere, he's like in mid lane when he starts this. It's crazy. As the Q, he waited until the last moment to pull it off, and you could see that T1 were totally caught off guard.
Effort got so close to dying here as well, which could have actually meant that Hanwha Life would have been able to start that Drake, knowing that it's 4 versus 3. But Cuz was alive and Haru wasn't, so it does make it much more difficult to go for that one. So you can understand why Hanwha made the decision. And it looks like Miru is building towards the Ardent Sensor now, so that's going to be a huge spike because it will come in alongside the Runar's Hurricane for Viper. And this, remember, is still a comp from T1 that does play into Aphelios quite a bit. One of those dangerous compositions. Into the 200 years.
Yeah, this is definitely a comp that LS would be molding at. If he saw it in the draft, the final Camille Pantheon picks straight into the Aphelios after what they had already drafted. So it's kind of curious as, here we go.
Here goes Dudu. Clears out the minion wave very effectively, whilst trying to get a bit of harass damage onto Kana. Haru unable to really follow up with too much. As Lahans, very close, just grabs himself the beach ball. An effort not going to quite find the Q there, so Spear's going to go wide. 3 minutes until the Infernal Drake, number 2, is going to be available. As Kana does find himself a stun onto Dudu, and look, yeah, now the Renekton's going to have a real struggle here in this lane. And is going to continue to do so as the Grand Skyfall gets effort that kill. And T1 playing around these side lanes really nicely at this point in time.
Yeah, and they collapse really quickly, so it's not like Hanwha Life can just run at Baron or anything like that. It's gonna take too long. They don't have any vision around there. And that's the proactivity that you need to have if you are going to draft this kind of a composition into an Aphelios. You got to play around your strong points, your side lanes. And that is exactly what they're doing. Not the first time that Dudu has been bullied there in the side lane. You can see that Haru is just going to have to take the reins on holding this, but he's going to get burst.
Yeah. Half health just from one combo. As now Faker finds the bubble onto Haru. Doesn't even make it into the base gate. He's very dead. Faker trying to redeem himself here. 22 minutes into this game. T1 is starting to run away with this one. Feels like there is some stability returning to this squad as Dudu is going to slice his way out. And T1, they just want to continue this push on the bottom side of the map. They are going to be able to break this open. Everyone is backing on the side of Hanwha Live. Just more proactive, more aggressive. T1 success. It feels like the last 5 minutes have just been entirely about them.
Yeah, they're really doing a good job there on that side lane. There's really not much that Hanwha Life can do with this weak side of the lane. The Renekton, the R5, we talk about it so much. Yeah, it had a little bit of fun early on, and now you're not having much fun, are you, Mr. R5? He's just getting dominated. There's nothing he can do. And the second that Cuz comes over, you just know it's over. As effort just makes sure.
나 한번 볼게. 수면 볼게 이거. 가는 중. 카메 공대. 오케이.
So we're going to watch Faker
나 살짝 암살 볼게 이거.
find the Lee Sin.
거의 잡았다.
You gotta love the vision from the portal jump.
나 넣고 이거 용 2분.
Pretty ridiculous.
It is.
You can see over many walls. And yeah, he was saying, yeah, I gotta get the smite. Let me look for a potential pick. And then I got him. Pretty much it. So yeah, he's finally starting to look a bit better here on the Zoe.
It will come a time for Teddy to do stuff. It's not now. Doesn't really want to do stuff just yet. Wants to eat some popcorn chicken, move back to this mid lane. Not a lot of damage out of him. Runards is complete here for Viper, as Faker gonna have to go golden as the depth charge was heading towards him. In goes Haru, looking for the kickback, and it is on to Faker. Viper should be able to help take down that kill as now Cuz trying to run for the hills. They are respecting Canna, as you can see, but Teddy's free hitting, and Duda's just walking at him. Nothing he can really do. The Pantheon's going to be taken down, though, and Lehens goes golden. Viper chasing after Canna, who gets over the wall. Moonlight Vigil not going to find him. There's a control ward, but unable to get over. As you can see, Viper didn't want to waste his flash. A lot of value there from the Sky Strike out of Cuz. This should be Hanwha Life able to grab their first Infernal Drake. And Haru alive this time, able to secure it. Effort and Faker fall. No, only Dudu going to be sacrificed as, okay, in goes Cuz to try and grab that kill. Miru's going to be the first one to be taken down as Viper has the onslaught, but he doesn't have the health bar. And the huge bear is going to pop off. Canna jumps on top of the Lee Sin, and Faker launches in from the side. He'll have a lot of sparkles to deliver to Lehens. And now, T1 might be able to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's 20 seconds, 25 seconds here. Only Dudu is available. So I think he just has to try to get into the back line and take out the minions and somehow not die. Not going to be an easy feat for him.
Yeah, he wants to kill the minion wave, as you can see. He picked up a stopwatch, but there are still some creeps alive. And T1 grabbed the aggro. They're going to try and keep these creeps alive. They're not even going to have to worry about it. Arrow's going to secure Miru in his fountain, and T1 return in kind. The type of victory Hanwha served to them in game one will even out the series here against Hanwha Life.
Yeah, definitely a crazy game there towards the end. Last 5 minutes, tons of action. I really love how T1 finally showed the confidence that they're supposed to have against Hanwha Life, and they used their composition to go ahead and make it all happen. Very proactive, very aggressive around the lanes that were winning, and really got to hand it to them, as I got to think about a player of the game after that one. I know you're pointing at Cuz, but not sure about that.
What do you mean? He won the game. He literally killed everyone and won the game.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Had some good roams, too.
You're deliberating. You don't want to make the same mistake again. I can understand, and I respect it. There's certainly been a lot of responsibility taken away from my shoulders, and yours, of course, when you are back to being the Val play-by-play.
The Val PvP.
Val PvP Des.
Yeah.
As Hanwha, they do have another chance here, guys, to potentially grab themselves a victory, but down to match point, momentum on the side of T1. And I think that it's starting to look like game one was more of an anomaly, although we do need to see Renekton removed from the champion pool of every team ever.
Yeah. I mean, remember, it was picked into the Camille. So they're like, this is a great pick. We are going to win with this pick.
Yeah.
Against the Camille.
Yeah.
And then he got solo killed. He put on a lot of pressure in the side lane, but it just didn't matter because Camille got accelerated in other parts of the game, and then Renekton had 0 value. Okay, this isn't kind of vaulting in to a slice and dice that is available. This is a Camille that is 4-0 and is just ending his life every single trade. So definitely not the best look for the Renekton in that game.
No, and it's only a matter of time, every single time. In that matchup, as Canna is going to do the most damage by a large margin. But I think that game was all about the Volibear getting some work done. 25-minute-and-a-half victory for T1 as well. I think the fastest game win that they've had all season.
It kind of feels like it, you know? The way these two games ended was very sudden, you know? It's one person gets picked, it turns into 4 of them going down in a big team fight all of a sudden, and especially in that game too. The hidden jungle Volibear coming out and kind of sweeping in and taking all the other kills.
Exactly. The from the shadows Volibear is definitely the deadliest, but it's been a weird and wonderful series so far. We're going to go to a short break and we'll see who wins as we get to the cider afterwards.
이거 LC 좀만 가고 봐봐.
여기
이거 볼게.
카르마랑 리신 노플.
개 있나? 이거 근데 좀 어려워. 줘야 돼. 어려워.
찾아볼게.
야,
카르마
뭐야,
리신
가운데,
노플.
가운데.
카르마 리신 노플.
앞에.
카르마 잡았어.
오케이, 나 텔 5초.
나이스.
길게 봐. 나 뒤태 본다. 이거 끝까지 봐. 따라와줘.
바텀으로 가면 끝나. 게임 끝내자. 바텀 가자.
내가 갈게 이거.
게임 끝난다. 바텀 가면. 게임 끝났다 이거.
좀 할게.
바텀으로 다 뭉쳐. 끝났어 이거.
이거 레넥 노플 풀테크 좀 다시. 침착하게.
카르마 리신 노플. 랭 노플이야?
레넥 노플.
오케이. 끝내자 이거 게임.
아니 잘 봐야 된다. 너 먼저 막지 마. 내가 먼저 막을 테니까.
안 봐도 돼. 얘가 막을 거야.
나 만화빵이야 나 만화.
끝내자.
내가-
잡아야 돼. 웨이브 못
그래
걸려.
그거 봐봐. 잘 봐야 된다.
얘 이거 괜찮아.
점사해 타워.
이거 끝나 밀어봐. 이거 타워 쳐봐.
몸좀.
타워 쳐봐. 야 이거 점사해야 돼. 점사해야 돼.
점사하자.
끝나.